Hello and welcome to another episode of Live Feed with your host, Richard Santiago. Live Feed is brought to you by Traveling Tech Teacher. For all your digital resources, check out travelingtechteacher.com. Also brought to you by thebullyexposed.com, a 501c3 nonprofit organization geared at helping survivors of bullying. So let them help you. So, today we're going to talk about bullying and eating disorders. And I have to tell you that this is something I'm learning and hearing about for the first time. So bear with me with the information I give you. Remember that I am not a professional. I'm just a normal person just like you that wants to help as many people as I can so you guys don't have to go through what I went through. Pico and Rico, thank you for joining the show. So bear with me on this because I'm just learning this, just like you guys, as we go. I have insecurity because my six-pack abs is not symmetrical. Vida, thank you for joining the show. Miss South Florida is on with us. Thank you, Miss South Florida, for joining the show. So, bullying and eating disorders. So, there is a connection. I've spoke to some doctors, and yes, there is a connection because bullying decreases your self-esteem, which then leads to people having eating disorders. And there are 6 types, according to the doctors that I talked to. One is called avoidance and restrictive food intake. So it usually commonly happens to 7-year-olds. And so this is infant and early childhood are the people that really deal with avoidance and restrictive food intake disorder. Pico, you're just too funny today. Your abs are not symmetrical. The original Jaco, thank you for joining the show. So number 5 in the disorders and the different 6 types of eating disorders are rumination disorder. This is where a condition in which a person regurgitates food they have previously chewed and swallowed and re-chews it. So that's a lot different than just regurgitating your food and then not eating it. So that's number 5. And then Pica, not to be confused with Pico, who's who's on the feed right now, but Pica is another disorder which involves eating things that are not considered food, like non-food substances. Thank you for joining the show. Albert Williams, thank you for joining the show. So such as ice. Well, I eat ice all the time. I don't understand why ice. I don't eat it, but I'll suck on it till it melts. But ice, dirt, soil, soap, hair, wool, pebbles, these types of things. Cornstarch apparently is one of the things that a person with pica would have. Nadia, thank you for joining the show. So also number 3 then is eating disorder, which I think a lot of us have been suffering for because of the virus. I myself find myself just eating and realizing I'm not hungry. Why am I sitting here eating? And I have to consciously remind myself to stop eating. But binge eating disorder is believed to be one of the most common eating disorders, especially in the United States, according to the doctors that I've spoke with. Because as other people have symmetrical 6-packs, while mine are not symmetrical. That's all right, Pico. It's all good. Don't worry. Bulimia, nervosa. Bulimia nervosa is another well-known disorder, like anorexia, bulimia tends to develop during adolescence and early childhood, and it appears to be less common among men than women. Oh wow. Okay, that's very interesting. And of course, anorexia is the one we know. It generally develops adolescent and young childhood and tends to affect more women than men. So those are the six types. Let me read them for you real quick again. So we have avoidance and restrictive food intake disorder, rheumatism disorder, pica, binge eating disorder, bulimia, and anorexia. Those are the six types. So when it comes to bullying, um, doctors have said that, let's see, the harmful effects of bullying have received increasing attention in the recent years, starting an important national conversation. But unfortunately, nothing's being done about bullying. We know that, at least not the way I feel it should be. Bullying can lead to low self-esteem, social isolation, poor body image, and has also been shown to directly contribute to the development of eating disorders. In fact, as many as 65% of the people with eating disorders say bullying contribute to their condition. So that's very interesting. And I want to thank the follower that came up with this. She basically told us that we should talk about disorders when it comes to eating because of bullying. So I'm still learning about this, guys. So the more I learn, the more I'll talk about it with you guys. But let's see, it appears here that 40% of girls experience, let's see what it says, weight-based teasing. Okay, sorry about that, guys. 40% of girls in schools are teased about weight-based teasing. That's hard to say for me. And then 37% of boys are teased because of their weight. Young Blue, thank you for joining the show. So that's interesting. And bullying at school can begin at a very young age, as some of you know. Children with higher body weight are 60% more likely to be teased than their thinner counterparts. So that's just a lot of information about it. So I'm going to really go through it a little later and try to piece something together that can help you guys. Blue, how are you doing today? So it just comes down to believing in yourself, guys. When I know eating disorders go a lot deeper than the surface, and I understand that, but we have to learn to really have confidence in ourselves, guys. And we have to thank you for the flowers, Pico. They're beautiful. I think that when we have confidence in ourselves, no one can tell us we're ugly, we're fat, we're skinny, no one can tell us anything. So that's a good place to start. That's not saying that a person with confidence can have some type of eating disorder or any other type of disorder. But we really got to learn to have confidence in ourselves. And I think that starts by, at a young age, by us being able to get into something, find what we like, and harnessing and try our best to become, strong at that. Young Blue says, I'm working on a Post Malone beat, but it sounds a lot like something out of the movie Avatar. Yeah, Post Malone's real good. My son loves Post Malone. So I would love to get your take on this, Vida. Um, what's your take on eating disorders and bullying and the relationship between the two? Let me see what else we got here. Approximately. Oof, it's Brianna. Thank you for joining the show. I was thinking of you today, Brianna. I was listening to Hamilton and was thinking about you today. So, yeah, approximately 40% of higher weight kids are teased about their weight by peers and family. Families can also play an important role in shutting down the teasing. Weight-based teasing at home can lead to binge eating, weight gain, and extreme weight control measures. Very interesting. Yeah, we got we should do one day, Brianna, is really learn the lyrics to our favorite song and we'll sing it on the show one day. I'm very uncomfortable with my non-symmetrical six-pack abs. Most people don't have abs. I don't have abs. You should be happy. Brianna said, I also my dad loves Hamilton, so you can talk to him about it as well. Oh, awesome, good. And Pico goes on to say, it's really unfair. Others have symmetrical ones. That is so funny. But Mrs. South Florida says, searching for acceptance of others is typically the core stem of from past trauma or teasing that is thought to be harmless within the home. Yeah, but I think that when your family members tease you because whatever reason, I think that hurts more. That's my opinion. That would hurt more. And I guess it depends on the type of person you are. I think if you're family oriented and family means a lot, then yeah, probably being teased by your family would hurt more. But if you're the type of person that's seeking acceptance from your peers, that would probably hurt more. That would be my guess, just off the top. Pico also says unfair. Also, me and my girlfriend aren't like other normal people. I have autism. My girlfriend has autism and bipolar. Oh, okay. Interesting. Well, I'm getting to know you and your girlfriend, Pico. That's good. Let's see if we could learn more about disorders. But yeah, very, very good point from Vida, our resident Miss South Florida. And so I'm gonna pin up her comment so anyone that comes in can see it and kind of learn from that. Pico, in your own special way, you are normal, I think. So we thank you for starting the Q&A, Brianna. And Brianna asks, what's your favorite song? That's very tough. That's very tough. It's very tough to have a favorite song on Hamilton. But I will think about that, and maybe on the next show I'll kind of tell you. But I can tell you this. If you're a person that likes plays and stuff like that, because I've enjoyed Shrek. And in Shrek, my favorite song is, what is it? Oh, I forgot the name of the song. I had it right on the tip of my tongue and I just forgot it. Old age, guys. It's not pretty. Not pretty at all. Oh wow, I just drew a blank. Let me look it up. Let me look up songs from Shrek, the musical. Shrek the musical. If you have not seen Shrek the musical, guys, check it out. Shrek the musical. Oh, I got you beat. I got you beat. That's the name of the song. I think I got you beat. Um, to me, that's the best song on there. Best song, hands down. There are a lot of good songs on there, but that is my favorite. Thank you, Brianna, for asking the question. Yeah, it's too hard for me on Hamilton. There's so much good things, and for me, so you guys have to understand this. I grew up in the era, growing up in New York and growing up in the era that I did. 77. I was 10 years old. Um, I used to live in the Bronx, and I was not allowed to go down and listen to the rappers that are now, they were nobodies back then, and now they're famous, the grandfathers of rap, spinning on their turntables, rapping and all that. So, and I think that Lin Manuel did a good job paying homage to those people and in the things, in the ways that he puts his music together. So that's why for me, a lot of the songs just hit home and are just so good for me that it's hard to really pick one. But did you know, Brianna, I did want to tell you this. Did you know that when Lin Manuel says, "I'm not, I'm not going to waste my shot," I think he says, "I'm not going to waste my shot," or I'm not going to miss my shot," whatever it is, the exact lyric is. Do you realize that he's talking about Hamilton missing his shot to go down in American history, and also the shot, he's not going to lose his shot from the duel that ended up killing him. So it's I forget what they call that in film, a double tundrum or something like that. Oh, I cannot speak today, guys. I'm sorry. But I believe that's what it's called, when he's using shot in a way that is meant for two things. Lose your shot in, I'm not throwing away my shot. Thank you. I'm not throwing away my shot. So he also means it for throwing away his shot to go down in history, in American history, and throwing down his shot for the duel that he has with Burr. So it's has a double meaning, guys. But Alexander died from a gunshot wound. Yeah, I think it's ridiculous. I think that we should all learn from this, guys. I think that if we have a friend or someone who has passed away, he had a son that passed away in a duel, that was killed in a duel. Why would he go and do that and do the exact same thing that his son did so that he can pass away the same way? I think it was his oldest son, Philip, died that way. And then he ends up having another son. His youngest son is named Philip. He named him after his second son after his first son. I think that's great, to be named after your brother who have passed away before you. So thank you, Brianna, for bringing up such a great subject. Music is great. Music, you don't have to speak the language. Music is a great thing, I think. And art, the art, making people, be able to sing and be happy just from your music, or even be sad. Even be sad from your music is an amazing thing. I'm reading an Alexander Hamilton book. Can I show you some pages after the live? Sure, send them. You probably have to send them to your dad, because I don't think you can DM me. I don't know, but if you can DM me, sure. I know that I can't DM you. Your dad has your thing locked, and that's great. I'm love that your dad is doing that. That's not a bad thing, believe me. So send them over to your dad's account or something. I would love to see it. It's funny to me how a girl in Australia would be reading about American history, or one of our founding fathers. So I think that's great. I couldn't even tell you who's an Australian founding father, but I would love to someday find out. And Pico says, and Blue says he sent a song. Okay, um, let's see. Let's see what Young Blue is working on right now. Young Blue is one of our followers who loves to make music and who also created the theme song for our show. And we thank him a lot. So here we go, an unfinished post beat. Okay, so you're showing us stuff before you even putting it out. That's good. I wish to be normal like everyone else, not autistic. Pico, you gotta. Oh, I don't know what to say to you, Pico. I think you're a great person. That would start by saying, I think you're a great person, and I love talking to you. You're on the show all the time. So, sucks to be autism. Well, at least I'm good looking. Good. That's a good way of thinking about it. At least you're good looking. So let's see here. Let's see what else we got here. The dangers of weight stigma can cause depression, low self-esteem, and body dissatisfaction. And let's see, by the age of 6, girls especially start to express, oh, what happened to the music? I'm sorry, guys. So let's see here. By the age of 6, girls especially start to experience concerns about their own weight and shape. Yeah, and I blame society's image for that. A guy can be heavy set, and that's a great thing. And a woman is, 1 ounce overweight or underweight, and it's the worst thing in the world. It's a shame, and I hope that changes. Let's see here. Also says 40 to 60% are concerned about their weight or about becoming too fat. Okay. What else? The American elementary school girls. Most of the stuff here is about girls. That's a shame. Where's the stuff about? There was a few things about guys. So let's see. Of American elementary school girls who read magazines, 69 say that the pictures influence their concept of the ideal body shape. See, so that's why it's important to make sure your kids are reading the right books. Pico says I'm 5'7" and 72 kilograms. Don't know if that's bad or good. I remember you mentioning that to me, and if I remember, 72 was not a bad weight, because I think I'm in that same area as you. So it's not, I don't think that's too bad. And let's see, and then it goes on to say 47% say that the pictures make them want to lose weight. Oh, wow, that's interesting. So I guess those pictures are probably not too bad. On the scene with Dean. What's up, Dean? Thank you for joining the show. Let's see, weight-based victimization among youth is higher in higher weight bodies has been linked to low levels of physical activity, negative attitude about sports, and lower participation in physical activities among their higher weight students. See, a lot of people think that if you shame somebody, either way, whatever it is, it's going to make them, like if they're eating too much, if you shame them, they're going to eat less. That's really not going to do it. And here's the proof right here, that when you victimize someone with those things, that it makes them have low activity about sports, lower physical activity, and lower. I don't know why this keeps going off. I'm sorry, the music just doesn't stay on constantly. Sorry about that, guys. But that is interesting. Um, Very interesting. And as I talk to more people about weight loss, and maybe this will be a topic when I interview Mrs. South Florida on Saturday. Don't forget, guys, be sure to tune in Saturday as I interview Vida Hoggett and her husband. And maybe this will be one of the topics we talk about. And you can hear it in her own words, what she feels. Thank you for smashing that heart. Everyone, please smash that heart. I think that, well, for me, this is me, okay? I'm not trying to tell you guys how to live your lives. But for me, the way I try my best not to undereat, overeat, or any of that is by making sure that I always am eating right. You know what I mean? Salads. You guys know I don't eat any meat. So I don't eat meat. So I don't eat dairy products or any products of an animal. So, and since I've done that, I think it's been 5 years now, I've been feeling a lot better. Overall, in every way, shape, or form. I think eating right is definitely what got me. This is why I always tell you guys to eat right. I think it definitely got me through my depression, my situation of depression when I was depressed by being bullied in the workplace. It was definitely something that helped me eating right, because I think the food kept me, when you eat, in vegetables, like I tell you, like celery. Celery has items that would help you with depression and anxiety. And when you eat those, they go to work. The items inside of it, they do their job, and they keep you, on the right track when it comes to these things. And I'm a strong believer, and I've seen some documentaries that have said this, that some foods have chemicals in them that just send us over the edge. They make us want to eat more, so on and so forth. There's some people that say, and I kind of agree with it, that sugar is more addictive than cocaine. So it's really important to eat right. Sunshine Sisters, thank you for joining the show. It's been a long time since you guys have come on. How are you doing today? Can you hear how the song can be an avatar? I don't know too much about that, Young Blue, so I don't know. Know her AMB, thank you for joining the show. And I apologize for the music. I don't know why it's turning off and turning on. But whatever you guys, I'm opening the floor to whatever you guys want to talk about. And Brianna started the Q&A, so you guys can keep that Q&A going. Smash that question mark, ask your question. But yeah, like I said, we are going to have Miss South Florida and Mr. South Florida 2020 on the show on Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, guys. So if you live in Australia, like our good friend Brianna, you can watch the show at 9 a.m. And that's a great, decent time for everybody all over the world, I think. That's why I kind of try to have it around 6 or 7. So it works well. All right. And Young Blue says he sent us another song. Okay. Let me look for that, Blue. I haven't got it yet, Blue. If you sent it, I haven't got it yet. Send again, maybe. And Vida, Mrs. South Florida, says, looking forward to it. I can't wait to connect with everyone. Yes. So it's definitely going to be good. I've been researching Vida and trying to come up with my questions. That's what I do with all my people I have on the show. Try to get to know them first through the internet and try to find the best questions that make them look the best in what they do. Because I like to think everybody that comes on my show has something special to say. I believe that. You know, it can be the smallest person to the biggest person. I think everybody has something good to say on the show. All right, so now we're listening to Slime by Young Blue. And Young Blue, it's, what time is it over where you're at? Let's see. Well, let's look that up. There, 8 in the morning. Okay, it's 8 in the morning where Blue is at. Awesome. Yeah, when I move, it's going to be interesting what times I'm going to do the shows at. So I got to figure out what time in the new spot that I'm at is best for the whole world. I'm small compared to an American person. I think you're tall. I mean, yes, most Japanese people are smaller than most Americans. And I'm sorry, the music went off again. I don't understand why it does that. I'm sorry, Blue, but I don't understand why it does that. But that was one thing that I found very interesting when I went to Japan. How smaller things are. The rooms in the hotels are smaller. You actually have to order an American room if you want one the size that you're used to as an American. But I know when I went, I went with my best friend who was Japanese, and I wanted to just be submersed in the culture and live like the culture. So when we stood in a hotel for 2 days, and when we stood in the hotel, I stood in the Japanese style small hotel. I didn't want to get an American room. But most of the time we stood with his brother in his apartment. So it was fun. It was great. I had a good time. That was my first time in Japan, and I believe my second time out of the U.S. So, yeah. So whatever you guys want to talk about, we have Vida is a woman that's going for Miss America. She's campaigning for Miss America, I should say. It sounds a lot better. Campaigning for Miss America. She's Miss South Florida now. She's Mrs. South Florida now. I think she has Miss Florida to go, and correct me if I'm wrong, Vida. Miss Florida to go, and after Miss Florida, then she competes for Miss America. So that's real good. It's real good. It's awesome. You know, I'm so glad that we are getting the attention of people like her. You know, I think that's really good. So this is the part of the show where I ask Rico how she's doing. Konnichiwa, Rico-chan. How are you? And please tell me a question. Does this have the lyrics? It's a shame we never got to put lyrics on this one, Blue, because I'm not allowed to go into the studio. Oh no, this doesn't have lyrics. Oh, does it? But I like the. I always like this beat. I think this is the first beat that I've ever heard you make. The first beat you sent me. Uh, she says she's okay. Oh, awesome. All right. Let's see. Also sent Little Nemo is becoming mainstream. Oh, cool. All right, let's give a listen to that one. All right, let's listen to this one. So let's see. She asks, "How are you?" I am good. I am very good. Let's see. We do have a question. Let's see. Oh, we had a few questions. I'm sorry. Let me go to this one first because this person I think left the room. Oh, and I never got to answer a question on me. What if someone edits your personal image for insults? When we report, then Instagram never removes the image. Yeah, that really sucks. Give me a second. Let me reach out to this person. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to do this live, but I want to reach out to the person, let them know. Uh, I don't really know what to say about this because I have no control about what what Instagram does. But Instagram does kind of upset me as well. I've sent them pictures that very rude things that people have said to other people, and they say there's nothing they can do. There is something you can do. Uh, all right, sorry about the dead air, guys. All right. I just want to reach out to that person and let them know. But oh, Blue's gonna go eat breakfast. Have a great day, Blue. Talk to you later. Be safe. Wear your mask. Wash your hands before you eat breakfast. Remember that. So, what if someone edits your profile image for an insult? That's I don't know what the laws are when it comes to that. People, you put your image on the internet, people are gonna grab it. You should be. I would guess you should be able to write to Instagram and tell them that that's your image and you don't want your image used that way. But that's a very good question. That would have to be a question that I might have to bring up to a lawyer and ask what you can do about that. Because this person's right. That's a shame that people take your image and do whatever, make memes, whatever it is that they do with them, and you can't take it down. You can't say anything to Instagram. March Wits, thank you for joining the show. You can't really do anything about it, I'm guessing. I don't know. That's a good question. I would love to send that one. I'm going to take a screenshot of that and maybe take it and give it to Instagram so they can try and come up with an answer as to why they allow that to occur. But let's go to Rico and says, why the Native Americans keeps disappearing in the U.S. I don't know. I don't know if disappearing is. is the right term. I don't know. I don't know if they disappear. Um, they're not. It's a shame that they're not seen as much. It's true, um, and that's a shame. Um, they should be out in the front more, but a lot of people of color are not seen in the light of America, unfortunately, and they should be. They should be out in front more. That's for sure. They should be, but I don't know if they're disappearing. Um, I don't know the status of Native Americans as much as I do other races, and it's a shame. I probably in my whole life probably met two people that were Native American, and both times were when I lived in Las Vegas. But I don't know if disappearing is a right word. They're not in the forefront of American society, but I don't know if disappearing is the right terminology. Maybe it is. I really don't know. I'm ashamed to say that I really don't know a lot about the Native Americans, but man, I really would like to. Um, I really would like to, especially like I told you yesterday, Taino Indians were the Indians. I mean, excuse me, they're not Indians, but Tainos were the people that were in Puerto Rico before the Spaniards came, and the closest thing to them is Native Americans. So I would love to know more about Native Americans, but unfortunately, I don't know a lot about them, but I really would like to. But um, unfortunately, I'm unable to answer this one. Your girlfriend comes up with some very good questions because I'm unable to answer this one. You know, because I don't feel that they're disappearing. I just feel that the media doesn't focus on them as much. You know, just like when an African American does something positive or a Latino does something positive, most of the time it's not in the paper, it's not on the news, but when an African American kills an African American, that's on the news. And it appears to some very ignorant people that more African Americans are killed by African Americans than they are killed by, you know, whites or other races, because that's all that they'll pinpoint on. They won't focus on something positive with the African American community. And I think the same thing goes for the Native Americans. A person may think that Native Americans are disappearing, that they're a small community or small portion of the American landscape. But they could be more. It's just people who have the power to report on them are not. And I think that's what's going on. So that's why I say I don't feel that they're disappearing. I feel that when they do something, they're not reported on as much as someone else is reported on, Because just like when it came to the the Black Lives Matter protesters, a lot of people are seeing looting in commercial. I mean, in TV. So they're always asking, why are people looting? What are they doing? Why are they doing that? They didn't show the peaceful marches. They didn't show the marches that didn't get out of hand. And they don't show you why the looting started. And from my knowledge, from what I'm hearing, is the looting started or the the shootings and things like this started because police were tear gassing and shooting with rubber bullets the protesters, the peaceful protesters. They weren't doing anything wrong. They just didn't want them to protest. Somebody did not want them to protest. So they started tear gassing, they started shooting. And so when you get that, once you get that, then yes, you're going to get knuckleheads that are going to loot and do all that. And, you know, you're going to have people, no matter what type, no matter who's protesting, you're going to always have people that are just out there for themselves, you know, like looters and all that. And that's a small percentage of the people who are protesting. Just like if white people were protesting, be sure to smash that heart before you go. Thank you for stopping by, Pico. Love you guys. See you the next time around. Tell her I said thank you. But just like when you have, you're welcome, guys. But just like you have white protesters and you have white supremacists. It's not a fair thing to say that all white people who protest are white supremacists. That's not a fair thing to say. The white supremacists just make up a small portion of the nasty group of white protesters, you know. And so just like white protesters and protesters of color they all have the small percentage of people that are just there just to do stupid things. And, you know, that's just the way it is. But to turn around and say that all white protesters are white supremacists is just as ignorant as to say that all people of color who protest are just out to loot and cause havoc. So, but it is some brave newspapers have been reporting that the protesting has started quietly and has started peacefully, and then police or whoever start to tear gas the protesters, and then it gets to what you're seeing in the news. And then, you know, the crappy news reporting, the fake newsers out there, then they just report that part. They don't report the peaceful part or what occurred before it all broke out. MZ, thank you for joining the show. They don't report that, so that's a shame. But very good question by Rico. She always has a lot of good questions. And so we appreciate her coming on and asking her great questions. But that's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you for watching the show. The more I learn about bullying and eating disorders, I will let you guys know. I will let you guys know for sure. So remember, live feed with your host, Richard Santiago, is brought to you by Traveling Tech Teacher. For all your digital resources, check out travelingtechteacher.com. Also brought to you by thebullyexposed.com, a 501c3 nonprofit organization geared at helping survivors of bullying. So get your Be Kind t-shirt at thebullyexposed.com. Remember, guys, anyone can wear a crown. Anyone can be a hero. So be kind to one another and have a